Look!
Listen?
Taylor.
It's episode, who knows? Actually, I'll tell you exactly what episode today is on this wonderful podcast about Pokemon and other things.
Let me guess. Geese, what's your guess first?
76?
That's a conservative guess. Mine is 127.
That's right. but guys, hold the phone. Technically speaking, both Taylor and Geesepeep are correct. Because this is episode 76 of Horizons, the Pokemon anime.
Ooh, well done.
And Taylor is correct because we already recorded a Chansey episode, which would technically make this 127, but don't worry about that. Stop paying attention to me. We're moving along in the podcast. Please enjoy us discussing so many things. Geesepeep!
This is an episode numbering podcast.
Geesepeep!
What's up?
Before we move on to your first segment of the week, Geesin' with Peep, peeping in on geese, I've got a quick addition to our new segment, which we've heard before but never formally added in here. It's Rant of the Week. What do I got to complain about?
You got a whole minute to do it.
Guys, I'm only going to need 60 seconds because this isn't actually anything that happened. It's just an imaginary scenario I thought of in my mind in the shower and I got upset about. Now, in the past, similar things to this have happened to me, so there's some basis in reality. But here's the scenario I'm getting at, guys. And of course, let me remind you of previous rants of the week. For instance, last week I was going on about the contact lens debacle. Several months ago, I was going on about the pedestrians who are completely oblivious and use their hand to signal a car to run me over because they don't realize other people exist. Those are rants of the week. This week's rant of the week is when someone asks you a question such as, oh, what time is your flight? To gain some basis of information about how much time is needed. Guys, I don't care what, and of course this would probably be directed at somebody who is not careful with their time, let's say.
Okay, I apologize.
I don't care what hypothetical situation you have in your brain about how long it should take for something to happen. The only way I'm going to answer that question to you is I have to wake up at 6 a.m. That's the answer to your question, because I'm not going to give you some out to say, oh, you don't need that much time. So, guys, can we please?
Directed at me? Did I ask you that at one point?
No, I said this wasn't even something that happened.
A hypothetical. On the preview for this week's rant of the week.
Because I often, when, like, I have to do something, like if I have to ask somebody for something, I'll, in my head, already plan out responses if they have an argument like, oh, well, how much time do you need? So for this instance, Geesepeep, it was specifically about, oh, maybe I should try to switch work so I have more time and then I can fall asleep early. And if somebody were to say, it doesn't have to do with you. If somebody were to say, oh, no, that's enough time, I would say, no.
Do you guys have people in your lives where you have to tell them, you have to lie to them about when events start so that they actually get there on time?
I don't ever lie, but there's a lot of people who like being late. And so you should tell them an earlier time, yes.
My mom is one of those people. We just tell her like an hour or 30 minutes before the event actually starts.
Smart to do. I can't believe.
Interesting.
I can't believe anybody's ever late. I'm never late.
I used to not really concern myself too much with being ready super on time. It wasn't often late.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah, I know. I never really missed anything crazy. But recently, with Gun Can giving me outrageous anxiety, now maybe an hour or two beforehand, my heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, start pacing a bunch, gotta be ready, standing, staring at the door. Oh, it's great. Taking years off my life.
This was not meant to be an attack on anyone, but yes, Taylor used to be, I would have to wait on him for hours in his parking lot. Or, I mean, his drive-thru. I mean, what do you call it? The darn thing?
Drive-thru.
No,
my famous drive-thru.
At his mother's house, there's a thing where you put a car. What is that called? A driveway?
Garage?
Starbucks drive-thru.
Yes. Guys, enough of this. Enough rant of the week. It's time to move on to our second segment of the week. And if there's one thing we love about this, love doing on a podcast about Pokemon and other things, it's doing a transition to the next segment. Can I get, Taylor, can you set us up for Geese's Peep In of the Week? Let's peep in on Geese.
Time for peeping in on Geese. What's peeping with you? Geese. Is that what I say?
Yep. Continue.
Peep, peep.
Peep, peep.
And that's been Geese's Peeping of the Week.
Continue, Geesepeep.
I was played like a fiddle. I got an email from Google being like, hey, if you trade in your old Pixel phone, you get a big discount on the Pixel 9 Pro. And I was like, oh, so guys, should I do it? Should I get a new phone?
You should get an iPhone.
Well, I don't have iPhone money.
Nor do you need to. Pixel 9's fine, Geese.
Taylor, close your ears, Taylor. Look, just the other year or whatever, I was like, they're giving away iPhones for free. You just trade in your phone.
I have green text too. Don't worry, Geese.
I don't know.
Just means
I like annoying all my friends and family with that.
What?
I like annoying my friends and family who all have iPhones by being the only one with green text.
Oh God!
People act like it's a really big deal. It's fine.
It's annoying. Well, you guys wouldn't know. You're on the outside.
Or are we on the inside?
No.
The only downside is FaceTime for me personally. The laptop.
Yeah. But you can always use WhatsApp.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with that. But the other people are not apparently fine with that.
Yeah. It's fine. The US is the only one that goes real crazy for iPhones.
Japan as well.
This is all to say, I wanted to ask, do you think I should do it?
No,
what are you
should
using
get an
now?
iPhone.
I have a Pixel 6 Pro.
Are you do you need to upgrade it?
Do I need to do anything?
And
Wait,
there's your answer.
I think it's time to move on to watching, playing, eating of the week. This week in watching, playing, eating of the week, I watched 2 films in a row. The multi-award-winning Interstellar and Kraven the Hunter. That's right. We had ourselves a double feature, guys. And, ooh, Taylor, you should have seen it. So we're at everybody's favorite, Christopher Nolan's favorite movie theater in the world, Universal IMAX. You know the one, City Walk, as tall as a skyscraper. Ooh, what a good screen.
It's a 6 screen.
And because it's the only real, super authentic IMAX 70mm, I already told Geesepeep this, you got people flying into this theater from all over the world. Because it's been playing in IMAX again, the 70mm Interstellar, for weeks now.
Huh.
And even 10 a.m. on a Monday, the theater is still completely packed.
That's
so
sick.
I had this terrible seat, and I go sit in it, and I'm so close to the screen. I'm like, oh my God. I checked the AMC app, and one more seat opened. Clearly, somebody canceled their ticket. So I ran outside to try to switch to reasonable seat, and I just kept telling man, can I please sit in reasonable seat? And he said, oh, I don't know. You'll lose your seat. And I said,
I hope he was that coy.
Yeah, he was. I said, no, just please, because he said, you can do it on your thing. And I said, no, it's past the start time. It's past 3 p.m. Can you please do it for me? He gave it to me, and oh my God, what a good seat I got. Ooh, Interstellar 70mm on the IMAX. What a film. What a soundtrack.
I was going to say, what a soundtrack.
What a soundtrack. You're Oh my, okay. Here's a funny story for the middle of Interstellar, guys. One of the saddest points of the movie, everybody in the everyone in the theater is crying. I'm trying to wipe away my tears. And it's broken up by the man sitting next to me having to explain to his girlfriend, oh no, you see, because the timeline moves different. They age faster. And I was just like, you're gonna... The girl is just in the saddest moment of the movie. I don't get it.
Oh my God.
Everyone weeping as he watches his kids. And she doesn't get it. Who's that lady? How does he know her?
That's what happened.
I am looking at my Interstellar IMAX poster.
Very sick. That's what I did. And then also everybody in the theater laughed when there was a woman who just started talking loudly in the middle of the theater, in the middle of the movie. That was good.
Talking to whom?
Oh, just to herself, I guess. She's one of these rude people you encounter sometimes. And it was during the complete silence of the docking scene when they cut to his face. So
it's
good.
always during the silent parts. Every single time.
So that was an amazing experience. Everybody rush out, go see Interstellar while you can, while it's back in IMAX, but actually just travel to Universal Studios Hollywood and watch it on real IMAX, where Christopher Nolan and James Cameron love to stand in the box and say, look how good this looks.
I wish that was out when I was in LA, so I could have utilized my very expensive AMC A-list that I subscribe to, that I've only used twice.
I do feel very bad about that. And I've said I'm willing to fight them on the phone because, like we've mentioned a million times, all three of us have A-list, and none of us knew about this super secret clause where there's a cancellation fee and a bunch of nonsense.
I don't have A-list anymore.
All right, very sick.
Mine got canceled because my wallet got stolen. And
yeah.
Well, you're missing out on Kraven the Hunter, and here's what I got to say about that. Better than I thought it would be. It was a fun little movie.
There you go.
It was.
I have a question. I haven't seen any previews for it. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's had a very cool career. Like, all of his roles are really sick. But whenever I heard Kraven the Hunter was being announced, I was just kind of thinking to myself, I wonder if they're going to make this an actual villain story, or if they're going to say he's an anti-hero because he swears and sometimes kills people who deserve it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. What a hero, honestly. And I saw a tweet going around about how annoyed people are that they just take every villain and humanize them, so now there's just no... And then they do that. But the hero was the real villain the whole time. That's not the plot of this movie. It was like a silly little fun movie. I'm surprised it came out when it did because, clearly that has something to do with just slotting in times and probably production delays and things. But in my mind, I would think that all of these offshoot Sony movies would just be coming out like once a year just so they can keep the Spider-Man license. So like Madam Web, Venom Last Dance, Kraven the Hunter, these are completely unnecessary movies. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them to be made, but they must be made because if they're not made, Sony loses Spider-Man film rights and it goes back to Marvel. So they just have to make these nonsense movies.
Well, they have to come out when they do because when they make movies, they sign contracts with a bunch of different business holders, etc. So they have contracts that they have to withheld?
Nope.
Follow through on.
There you go.
So.
I just mean Geesepeep in terms of I'm surprised Kraven came out so close to Venom Last Dance. And guys, I almost forgot this. I love how every one of these Sony movies, it's just related to us. So I watch Venom, whole movie takes place in Las Vegas right after we get back from Las Vegas. I watch Kraven the Hunter, Taylor, it's all in Turkey. It's just a big Turkey movie.
Oh yeah, he was there at the same time we were.
Turkey.
People were freaking out because he was hanging out in Turkey.
And finally, to conclude my watch and playing of the week, I did play a little bit of the new Astrobot. They did a little Christmas free update. It's so cute and fun. And oh my God, it's so funny because it's not like I was streaming the game, but every time I get a new bot and it's a like classic PlayStation character and I go, oh my God, it's you. What are you doing here to myself? And I get all excited because my boys are in the game.
Like that one rude lady in the film.
Exactly. And now, Taylor, it's time for Love Lies Bleeding Michael Moment of the Week. Guys, okay, let me tell you something right now. I've seen a number of trailers for the new Captain America Brave New World trailer, and they're all like, whatever, not interested in this at all. I have to watch it. I know that recently they did some reshoots and re-editing and stuff because I think it wasn't doing well with test audiences.
They've renamed it enough times.
Listen to me on this one. They decided, wait a minute, why don't we hire a talented group of people to make a trailer for our movie? Because I'm sitting there watching a movie. I'm watching Interstellar. The preview they play for Captain America Brave New World is the sickest trailer for anything I've ever seen. Wow. And it makes me want to see this movie so bad. Oh my God. They put this like hard film grain on it and it just looks so good.
Oh, that's
it's
so
incredible.
sick.
It's such a good, and I promise you now it's a Love Lies Bleeding because there's no way movie's going to be as good as that trailer.
Yeah.
But everybody rush out and watch that trailer. It's so good. Also, I ate some In-N-Out. Taylor, Geesepeep, please tell us what's your watch and play and eating of the week.
So my parents left Florida before I did, so I was in Florida alone by myself.
Why did they keep doing this? Why did they keep abandoning you in Florida, Geese?
This was a voluntary abandonment situation.
Voluntary abandonment.
I decided to stay longer because I wanted to. And I asked my father to get me food before they left. So I had half a pound of deli turkey to eat before my flight. Now, I ran out of bread. So I'm at my gate. I have my airport turkey in my bag. I'm just...
Oh, like Kraven the Hunter. Go on.
Like Kraven the Hunter. I'm just trying to be as discreet as possible in the busy terminal where I am, rolling up just raw turkey and eating it. And I get so many looks. I can see it.
Quick correction. I think they cook the turkey. I don't think they give it to you raw. I don't think.
No, I'm eating
straight off the bird.
I'm just eating it without bread. Just turkey rolls. Yes, Michael.
May I give some breaking dongles news?
Yes.
McDonald's Japan just sent out a giant alert. Evangelion promotion coming. So please continue.
Sick. So yeah, that's what I've eaten. Also, my sister came home today, and on her way back, she stopped at an Amish bakery, and she got whoopie pies and other baked goods. And now, because I don't have a debilitating gum disease, I can actually eat them.
What gum disease do you have?
Did you forget that I got that gum infection several weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
How was hockey, Geesepeep?
The Oilers are actually on a winning streak, which is nice. Except they did lose last night to the Florida Panthers.
No.
It was still an exciting game.
God.
How do you lose in hockey to Florida?
Well, it was an exciting game, especially because it was a rematch of the
Titans
Stanley Cup Finals.
No way. Well, that's how you lose, Taylor, with the Stanley Cup finalists.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor.
My Stanley Cup broke.
Darn.
Oh, no.
Taylor, can you tell us what happened to you this time in Watch and Play and Eating of the Week, please?
Okay, listen. The Wire is such a show. It's such a good show. It's insanity how good that show is. Just go watch it. Everybody go watch it. I also need to, yes, go on. Question from the audience.
Do you agree with what Mike Mahardy of the Fire Escape cast says, which is that The Wire is more consistently good than The Sopranos, but The Sopranos has higher peaks and lower lows?
Yes, just because The Sopranos, you can think of individual moments that are incredible, but The Wire, you don't really have that. You don't have the time where you're like, oh man, minor spoiler, remember when Omar met Brother in the alley? And that was incredible. It's more like, man, the series is incredible, just start to finish.
Only thing I don't like in Sopranos is when they go to town with dream sequences.
Yeah.
I actually hate dream sequences in every form of media. I find that very lazy writing.
I agree with you.
I'm sure there's people smarter than me, film historians and film buffs and whatever, who would disagree and say, no, that's where you can put all these metaphors and whatnot. But I'm just going off of me knowing that if I write an essay and throw in a dream sequence, I could just come up with, I could fill up a page so fast with just nonsense and say, actually, this actually means this.
Well, it also gives you this weird, you just have carte blanche to just directly show what your characters are feeling.
Kate Blanchett.
Big fan. Shouts out to Kate Blanchett and the whole Life Aquatic crew. Yeah, I feel like it just leaves very little room for realistic subtext and interpretation of characters. So it's just like, oh no, Tony's afraid of this because he literally saw this. I don't like dream sequences either.
Hate them.
But I think I might have actually said it last week, but every single character in The Wire is interesting. It's insanity to me. Every single one.
It's a good show.
I'm trying to pull up the rest of my list.
I can just tell you, you also played Metaphor in Pokemon Go.
So, Oh, I also made chicken soup. Big old batch of chicken soup that I'm still eating to this day. Incidentally, I'm not going to say everybody should go do this, but dry brining chicken for 5 days and then cooking it did not kill me. And it made the chicken so crispy that it was as if I was eating fried chicken.
Well, Geesepeep eats raw turkey and nothing happens to her, so I guess go out and have fun, guys.
Oh, that's right. Geese fresh off the bird, Peep. Yeah, I ate some Thai food when I was at an event, and it's just been such a holiday season.
It's the holiday season.
Guys, are we ready for Poké?
And Delibird.
She's going to do it every week. Are we ready for Poké News?
Poké News of the Week.
You can talk more about Metaphor and Pokemon Go in our best games of the year.
Perfect.
Guys, it's finally here. We've been saving our hourglasses. Pokemon, this is from Sarah B, as you know. Pokemon TCG Pocket has released the Mythical Island-themed booster pack expansion alongside new solo battles and more. Ooh, new solo battles? I haven't done those.
I love how everybody's doing island themes. Like a Dragon, FF14, Pokemon.
Pokemon? Oh, yeah, Pokemon right there.
Yep.
You guys got any good cards yet from the set?
Taylor got a good. You did the 10 packs, and you got a lot of good cards.
I did 2 of those. The fun thing is, I think I have enough for at least one more 10 pack, maybe 20.
You get a whole booster pack. A booster box is 36 packs. You're opening a whole box.
Yeah. So, I got a couple Celebies. I got a cool Marshadow, but I didn't get any of the immersives. Last time I got so many immersives.
So
is there immersives in this pack?
There's an immersive Mew, maybe? People want the Aerodactyl to be immersive. I know that much, but it's not.
Absolutely should be, because both Aerodactyls that are out right now look pretty bad, in my opinion.
Guys, Taylor.
Some of the art is not the best.
Aerodactyl and Horizons looked bad. Like, he looks so off model. Anyway, guys, look. Apparently, a good deck out right now is with Superior and Celebi. Also, Mew EX apparently is going to be in every single deck because you can use the other Pokemon's attacks. But if you use a different energy type, you don't have to do things like discard the energy. So, super good.
Really?
Yep. It's crazy. And Joe Cerebi, my boy, I hate to be the one to say this, but Joe Cerebi was wrong. He said it would take the energy off, and it doesn't. He said you had to have the exact energy or you couldn't do the attack, and he was mistaken. Unless they patch it out, he's mistaken right now.
To be fair, I'm going to go easy on Joe Cerebi. Shouts out to you, Joe Cerebi. I think it's a little... That seems like an oversight.
Well...
I would die for this card.
For audio listeners, would you like to describe the card you're showing us?
It's the full art Dedenne. Wait, how do you pronounce it?
Dedenne?
You've never said Dedenne wrong in your life. You always say it wrong correctly. And now, on the spot, you call him Denny's. You know how to say Dedenne.
I know. I have a stroke every time I have to pronounce a Pokemon on this podcast.
I need to see exactly if I have... I don't think I have. I do have that Dedenne, Geese.
Well, here, make him bigger. I need to get a Dedenne and name him Lil Denny's. Oh, he's a baby.
So while this, I don't actually like most of the art that I've seen outside of Superior, and I don't have one of those Superiors. The Dedenne art in this expansion is outrageous. It is so cute.
He's a baby. Cute. What can I tell you? Also, in Pokemon,
I'm a big Dedenne fan to begin with, but this is just out of this world. I'm going to make a Dedenne deck.
Go ahead. Also, in Pokemon news this week, Poké News, the next Pokemon Go Safari Zone events have been announced in Milan, Santiago, Singapore, and Mumbai, and they will run on March 29th and March 30th, 2025. Guys, look, it is time, believe it or not, to discuss an episode of Pokemon.
News. Oh, nope. Sorry. I autopiloted.
Yeah, it's fine. I sure hope Taylor has done both what happened last time on Pokes and one-sentence synopsis. Take it away, Taylor. I can always rely on you.
Previously on Pokemon, Don't meet your heroes, they'll tell ya. We certainly met Lucius, and we certainly found out his life was not quite a legend.
Oh, no.
He was just a friendly guy.
No, he's great. Guys, Geesepeep, would you please let us know what this week's episode is on episode?
Please, what happens in this episode, Geesepeep?
This is in English, please.
Well, remember how you told Taylor that he was going to do that?
You don't even know the name of the episode in English? You can't even do that?
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you asked for the summary.
I forgive you, Geese.
Guys, I'm going to be real with you. I don't feel well.
Oh, what happened? Too much raw turkey fresh off the bird? I know it's not funny to anybody else, but me saying fresh off the bird is cracking me up inside.
Why not? Sohdayo.
Now, I'm telling you right now, that man's name will be different in English.
100%.
Actually, this is write it down, timestamp this right now. I think the English dub may name him Wyatt.
Oh, that'd be a very good name.
His name may be Wyatt in English because, okay, so here's the name in Japanese. It's Sohna노 Sohdayo. They may just skip this episode, to be honest, because it's the most Japanese-filled episode I've ever seen. We have, where to even begin? Half this episode, the plot of it specifically revolves around Japanese honorifics and senpai kohai culture of who's older than who.
But we have that with like twins where they're like, "Oh, you're the younger brother."
Yeah. And we're dealing with a Pokemon, Wynaut, the pre-evolution of Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is based on, I've posted it in here if you scroll down in the doc. Wobbuffet is based off of a Japanese comedian that lived from 1925 to 1980 who always put his hand on his forehead like Wobbuffet. And his classic catchphrase was, "That's the way it is, ma'am," or something like that. And and he was Taylor's favorite, a Rakugo performer. Because Taylor can't stop telling me how much he hates Katsura Sunshine, the big blonde guy who does Rakugo performances. And he made me unfollow him, and I stopped watching the reels.
It's fine. It's just not for me.
It's just not for Taylor. Excuse me, Taylor, will you please give us a one-sentence synopsis on this Wynaut episode, please?
We learn a little bit about Molly and a lot about the truth.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know how you love peeks behind the curtains and inside baseball. Taylor and I were going to record this episode a while ago, but we watched it and both decided Geesepeep would enjoy this episode, so we pushed back the recording just so she could record. So, Geesepeep, can you please reveal now without giving a score if you enjoyed this episode or not? Okay, thank God. All right, guys. We open with everybody eating on the Brave Olivine. Fritos knows just who to ask about Entei, because if you'll recall, Geesepeep, from last episode, Ristal was no help at all. She said, "Ask Rayquaza." But Fritos said, I got just the guy. I know who's going to know about Entei. It's my friend, Sohdayo. And of course, as you all know, Sohdayo in Japanese means, that's right, it's like soul Disney, sort of. Like Sohdayo. Sohdayo. Geesepeep, there seems to be some history in the Rising Volt Tacklers with this Sohdayo character. How is there somebody in the Rising Volt Tacklers who perhaps maybe isn't crazy about Sohdayo?
Molly is incensed that they're even going to him. And when I discover this, I'm like, girl, spill the tea. Did they date? What's the history?
That's what I was thinking immediately. That's clearly 100%. He's an ex. Oh, she has such a crush on Sohdayo.
110%.
Guys, I want to bring something up. I feel like Pokemon doesn't actually showcase relationship dynamics enough. We don't even get acknowledgement in the world that people are in relationships or there's anything like romantic.
Yeah, I mean, well, Liko has a mother and father. I think they're still together, but yeah, outside of that.
Well, yeah, but we don't really see like romance or anything of like that sort.
Yeah, guess the kids aren't interested.
We have several adult characters and we don't know anything about their love life.
So here's the thing, Geesepeep, with Sohdayo. He is Molly's senpai. Isn't that true?
By only 2 days.
2 days? Poor Molly. She's got to treat him like he's Like he knows so much more, all because he's 2 days older. And see, that's the kind of thing, Taylor. I mean, we don't do that in the United States. Nobody is like, oh my God, he's 2 days older. I have to look up to him and listen to everything he says.
But it's not like a ridiculously complex bit.
And he's still her senpai. Well, Molly, sorry. We're seeing him anyway. I know you don't want to, but I already made the plans. Didn't I mention it?
This table conversation at the beginning with everybody just sitting around talking about their next moves, it was like a minute and a half in, and I stopped it, and I was thinking, this is better than the entire Cleavor arc.
Wow.
This one table discussion.
We get some really good faces.
Oh, yeah. Molly's going to town in this episode. We go to
spoiler alert, Chansey's going to go to town in this episode, too.
Yes. We've had Geesepeep and I have been Chansey all day, every day these days. These weeks, lately. We cut to the theme song. We're back from the theme song, and we're in the middle of the desert. We're definitely in Paldea. I can tell you that much somewhere.
Oh, 100%.
Fritos is looking for Sohdayo through some little Geesepeep bird binoculars. And the kids just like it is a cartoon technically, but just like a cartoon, they all just burst out of the door all together. Like, Taylor, do you remember in the 90s, you would always see the front cover of VHS tapes, people's heads coming from around a door, and they're all stacked on top of each other? Yeah.
Yes.
Ghoulies did that.
I love that trope.
So the kids just jump out of the door like that and say, all right, we're going to the savannah. We're looking for some rare Pokemon. Geesepeep. Owl Creamy is so adorable in this scene.
She's just like, yay!
Yeah, she just says goodbye to the kids, and they didn't need to do that, but they did anyway. And that's why, spoilers, this episode is going to get a high score from me. Just adding little touches, adding cute and funny stuff. It's good, believe it or not.
It enhanced the world and enhanced the relationship with the Pokemon.
Exactly.
The details are what makes a good product.
Devil's in the details. Wait a second, guys. There's no Pokemon around here. They must be hiding or something. Quaxwell finds a big little pond. Big pond sitting over here.
Just the tiniest giant pond in the world.
Yeah, an oasis, perhaps, I think Roy calls it. But it appears there have been some beavers or something at work because there's a bunch of rocks blocking it off from the main source of water.
Oh, yeah, those beavers, famous for moving all those rocks.
You don't think a Bidoof knows Rock Smash, Geesepeep? You don't think a Barbarelle can move a rock?
100%. Easy.
Oh my God, a Farigiraf is sprinting towards the children, wildly flailing its neck, and he chases them all around. Roy is Pokedexing it, and my God, my goodness, that Farigiraf hits Crocolore right into the air.
I was actually incredibly surprised at the kids because they dealt with this incomprehensible Lovecraftian terror just coming shrieking across the desert at them. And they're like, oh, we should probably run. Let's look at the Pokedex. Horrifying.
Did you guys see the way that Dot was running?
No, how'd she run?
She was running without her arms.
What, it's a very Dot thing to do.
Like Naruto? Or just like at her sides?
Yeah, just at her sides. While like Roy and Liko are pumping their arms.
I did not notice it. Floragato is also thrown up into the air. Meanwhile, Dot says, Quaxwell, water gun. I don't have time to move my arms. I've got to battle this Pokemon. Oh, but nope. Farigiraf hits Quaxwell too. And then uses perhaps a Psybeam. Out of nowhere, Geesepeep, we have a character appear. Who is it?
Sohdayo.
Sohdayo and his partner Pokemon Sohnano, or Wynaut in English. He's wearing a sick little safari hat. He's got some green hair, sort of like N, and he says, what on earth is going on? What is making these Farigiraf mad? Is it the Savannah's curse, Geesepeep? The children at this point command their starter Pokemon to battle the giant Farigiraf. Water guns, sucker punching, etc., and the Farigiraf runs away. Is this the scene where it's like looking behind it as it runs away? I thought that animation looked kind of funny. So then Sohdayo sorta introduces himself. This is a very flamboyant, mysterious individual, I would say. He accuses the children of being a secret battling organization trying to take over the world. I thought maybe he thought they were Team Star or something.
Or Team Rocket.
Team Rocket doesn't do anything in Paldea.
Yet.
Okay, so he takes a picture of the children, and out of nowhere, Fritos and Captain Pikachu show up. Oh my god. Geesepeep, can you please tell me how sick this whole greeting process is?
It's a sick high five. Captain Pikachu ran up, jumped in the air, and they high-fived with his tail. And then he did a little greeting to Wynaut. It was sick.
I was actually incredibly excited because you never see Captain Pikachu get this hype over seeing somebody.
Captain Pikachu loves Sohdayo.
He does.
And Wynaut. We get intros all around. All right, children, here's my full name. It's Sodom de Yodom, but you can call me Sohdayo. We cut to the Great Salami, the Brave Olivine, and oh my god, Geesepeep, it just keeps getting cuter. Wynaut with Snowrunt? They're clearly the best friends in the world.
Wynaut playing with these Pokemon is so cute.
Pommy, Pomo, Pomoto. Sohdayo, he used to be a rising Volt tackler, sure, but these days, he's a truth-seeking Poke journalist. And everybody, Geesepeep, is saying, oh man, you're just as excited as you used to be. Oh my goodness gracious. But there's one person missing from this group.
Molly.
Oh no.
I mean, there are actually a lot of people missing.
Nah, just Molly. And then the door opens, Geesepeep, and what happens?
She comes out to ask Oreo about something, and then she sees Sohdayo, and she gets really upset.
She gets real flustered, and I wrote, they must have dated at some point. Are you kidding me?
100%.
Sohdayo cannot believe Molly's hair and clothes.
Also,
Okay.
in the beginning, when they have their little meeting in the ship, they talk about how he abruptly left without notice. And they don't really address that at all.
Nope.
Maybe it'll be revealed in a later episode. Who's to say?
I'm assuming it's just going to kind of build into the idea that he was chasing a scoop and got distracted.
Immediately now, at this point in the episode, Molly runs and attacks Sohdayo before he can tell the children what Molly used to look like when she was very demure and mindful, Geesepeep. Because if any of you are familiar with this anime, you'll know that Molly has a real kind of punk look with like the short haircut and all the earrings going.
She's so sick.
She's so sick.
I don't know. I like her previous iteration more.
Where she used to be very conservatively dressed with the long hair, and she was very naive.
Although I would still say Oreo's has the best wardrobe on the whole ship.
Just a shirt?
We all know that you're an Oreo kind of guy.
I am.
With her wrench. Guys,
Yep.
I need to tell you right now, the animation in this episode, fantastic. Anytime Molly's doing a face, anytime Chansey's getting ready to punch Sohdayo in his mouth, the animation's great.
It's so... Okay, real quickly. This episode is such high quality on the ship. It's insanity.
It's the A team. It's the S tier team working, having a good time. I mean, we even have throwbacks coming up. Spoilers to like Team Rocket stuff. Geesepeep knows what I'm talking about.
I just find it very hard to believe that they gave this material to the A team and all of Cleavor. They were just like, who cares?
Sorry, Cleavor. Well, Frito starts to ask Sohdayo about Entei, which is the whole reason we're here to talk to Sohdayo. But immediately, Sohdayo takes Fritos away to tell him all about his adventures. At this point, Molly says, I don't trust that Sohdayo. Liko, I need you to do something right now because it's not going to be worth the headache.
He tells Liko to hide Terapagos because it's not even worth the hassle and the hubbaloo that's going to cause if this man finds it.
The hubbaloo.
The hubbaloo.
The small duplicate satellite they sent out with Hubble.
It involves in a hullabaloo. My advice would be put him in his Pokeball, would be my advice.
No, you can't do that anymore.
Then we cut to a scene. They're in kind of like the innards of the ship by the stairs. You know, we had a whole episode with the Pokemon Fight Club down here. And we see Dot showing Roy a magazine. Oh my God, the Occulture magazine from Scarlet and Violet. It's got Registeel and Esper and Poltegeist. Ooh, published every month in Paldea. It speaks of the Paradox Pokemon.
They also referenced this before when they were in the library at the academy.
Indigo, yeah.
They had
They're on, huh?
They had issues of it in the library, and Dot was telling them about it.
Yeah, when you play Scarlet and Violet, that's where you can read these magazines as you go in the library at the school.
Oh, that's so sick. Is that the one that Chelsea was holding, or no?
No, are you talking about the Violet book or Scarlet book?
Yeah, I think so.
Guys, no, they're not related. Well, they're sort of related. I mean, they're both about Paradox Pokemon.
I was wondering if it was lending credibility to what Sohdayo does.
Okay, this is, I guess, important and interesting. So all the people don't really believe in Paradox Pokemon because they're only coming out of Area Zero through a time machine. So the only publications about it are supernatural magazines. So when you read the Pokedex entry for a Paradox Pokemon, it says like in this fake magazine, it said this Pokemon can do this kind of stuff.
Where is Area Zero?
It's in the giant crater of Paldea. Okay, so in this magazine, it talks about Sohdayo in there, about how he's spilling the beans on everything, and he writes how to catch legendary Pokemon. How about that? Look, there's a Zekrom, a Kyogre, a Lunala, and an Entei, which is important for us. We're looking for Entei.
So in universe, do they call them legendary Pokemon?
I believe so, yeah.
Like, do they categorize different things?
I believe so, yes. Also, there's a Haunter, Gardevoir, Dusknoir, Miss Magius, Gengar, Duskull, and a Drifblim. Geesepeep, while the children are reading this magazine, who sneaks up right behind them?
Sohdayo.
Oh my God. And he says, hey, you kids must be fans of me. I'll write all about you. And Geesepeep Dot gets a little bashful.
She's like, it's probably just better if we just read the articles. It's better if they're not about us.
Yeah. And so I think Roy or somebody's like, oh, Sohdayo, thank goodness you're here. We really need to ask you about and immediately. Sohdayo interrupts them again and says, don't say another word. You probably want to hear all about my adventures with the Rising Voltaclers, don't you? And Entei says, no. Or Entei says, Roy says, no. But then everybody else said, well, actually, I mean, that could be interesting. So he starts telling them all about it. We then see that here's the thing, guys, about Sohdayo. Here's his big personality. He tells a lot of stories. Some of them have some basis in truth. For instance, he reveals to the kids that Ludlow is a superhero. But he also says a lot of things that maybe aren't true. And spoilers, you can tell which is true and which is not if you just listen to his little Wynaut. Because his little Wynaut will go, Sohnano or Sohnanon.
The weird thing is that I can't tell if he lies because he has the lie detector projecting truth and lie on his back, or like, why would you lie if you were that good at your job? It's
the theme of the episode. The theme is the truth is what you make it. So there's probably a kernel of truth in everything he says.
That was my one sentence preview.
There you go. We see the kids in the kitchen asking Murdoch about some legendary dessert he supposedly made, the Conatozo, maybe?
Very sick story.
Murdoch says, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, sounds like your boy's exaggerating over there. He also says Oreo can make the fastest ship the Sid has ever seen, faster than the high wind even. And then Oreo says, if I could make that ship, we'd be in it right now. I don't know what you kids are talking about. Oh, my goodness gracious, Geese. Did you see the scene where Sohdayo is photographing little Mousehold?
Babies.
Babies? And little Shuckle and Poltegeist and Sinistea.
I know that I started this journey in this particular series by hating on Shuckle a lot because they drink Shuckle juice, which is still very weird to me. I have turned into the biggest Shuckle fan in the world, and now all I do in Pokemon Go is play with Shuckle.
Shuckle's my boy. But Taylor, honestly, you should have no problem with Shuckle juice. It's no different than you drinking milk. It's just a liquid out of an animal. I mean, come on now, guys.
Yeah. But I don't like having that image.
Fruity flavored milk.
It just seems like it would stink.
No, it's probably great. Well, anyway, right as Sohdayo's about to spill some more beans on Molly, who appears, Geesepeep?
Molly.
It's true. More threats of violence via Chansey happen.
Oh, every single frame. Chansey like sliding in behind Molly with her hand glowing, going like this. It's that's an all-time great animation for this show.
It's very funny. In this next scene, you're going to see Molly and Chansey storm off together, and they both have the same angry Japanese animation. It's very good. So even though Molly said she would murder Sohdayo if she shows a picture of her back in her olden days, he shows it anyway, guys. And the kids look at her and, oh my God, look at her little shirt and her sweater or her haircut. It's the unfabricated truth, Geesepeep. At this point, Chansey does something to Sohdayo. What does she do?
Chansey Team Rockets him.
He goes blasting off again, Geesepeep.
He's done so.
He's in Super Smash Brothers at 300%, and he gets home run bat out of the stretch.
I think that was the point where I was really texting saying, Geese, you need to watch this.
Yeah, it's an old school fun episode. They're having fun, clearly. We then cut to Fritos. He's out in the savannah. He's looking at what looks like to be an Espathra behind a tree. When out of nowhere, Sohnaano and Sohdayo, Wynaut, land right by him. I'm telling you right now, those children must be the fastest children alive, because they somehow managed to run and meet Fritos and Sohdayo within seconds after he was cannonballed, projectiled off the ship.
Maybe they took Charizard or something.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't Charizard in his Pokeball on Fritos' belt? Well, before Liko says, okay, enough goofing around. We need to ask you about Entei, Sohdayo. But before he can answer, Sohdayo hears a million Farigiraf coming right this way. Oh my God, it's a commercial break. We're back from the commercial break. And then I wrote, A-Team worked on this one, which we said before. It's very true. What a good episode.
So good.
So much is happening. Noctowl sounds the alarm. The Farigiraf start to attack. And Captain Pikachu thunder punches him. Oh my God, Geesepeep, here comes the Espathra. She's running towards him. And the two psychic Pokemon start attacking each other. Oh, they're dodging. The Oasis, Dot surmises, it's Farigiraf's territory. Oh my God, we get such a big psychic battle blasting over. The whole world turns pink. It looks like the Legend Arceus space-time distortions. Liko screams at them to stop. And we get such a good animation, Geesepeep. As the rocks are about to fall, who saves the day?
Chansey.
That's right. Ooh, they give her a sick animation of destroying those rocks. You saved us, Chansey. And Molly says to Sohdayo, wasn't trying to save you. So
even doctors do preventative care.
It's true. The little baby puddle, the water starts bubbling, and Roy says, Roy, who honestly is the big genius lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but once an episode now, Roy just comes up with a brilliant idea. Roy says, oh my God, clearly, the big problem here is they just all want to drink out of the little water. Crocolore, break the rocks. You stomping tantrum will solve this problem right now.
I didn't even pick that.
No, well, Roy's a smart kid. Yay, we did it. Everybody can sip in the water now. Oh my God. Look, the water's filling up, Geesepeep. We did it. The whole conflict's resolved. All right. We cut to outside the brave Olivine, and Sohdayo is saying goodbye to everyone. But first, God, Sohdayo, just answer me. Don't interrupt me. Where is Entei? And Sohdayo says, wait, that's all you wanted to ask me? He's in Olivine City in Johto. They just saw him there. You could have said that earlier. Come on, guys. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Olivine City, do you mean in Japanese Asagi City? What the brave salami is named after, Geesepeep? Kidding me?
Oh.
I wonder if there's going to be some lore there. Perhaps it was somehow related.
Or is it just going to be Croca?
What?
Because Crocolore.
But yeah, then we get a big payoff to the joke of the guy's name. So when he says, that's all you guys wanted to know, and they all say, Sohdayo, which of course, yes, that's right. So the joke pays off. We did it. We cut to the ship flying in the skies, probably on the way to Johto, you would imagine. Also, that is the case. They're flying to Johto.
I wonder, so do you know how far these regions are?
I do. Well, unless you're telling, but here's the thing though. Just the other episode, we saw Grandma say she rode her Arcanine from Spain to the middle of Japan.
But I mean, to be fair, Roy can run between cities in a few minutes.
That's true. There is because every Pokemon region is based off of our planet.
But that doesn't mean the geography is the same, right?
Right, that's what I was getting at, is maybe they're placed differently. So maybe Galar, maybe... Well, no, because didn't they say that Kalos is connected to Paldea? Just like France and Spain. Anyway, Liko and Molly are having a little heart-to-heart on the ship. On the bridge? Deck? They're outside. What's that area of the ship called?
The deck.
The deck? They're talking about Sohdayo, talking about staying healthy, and Molly then reveals what I mentioned earlier, which is you can always tell if he's lying or not by is Wynaut going Sohnano or Sohnano. So then you know if it's true.
I wonder if everybody knew that, like it's an obvious thing, or Molly only knew it because she paid very close attention to him.
Yeah, probably just Molly. And then Liko, kind of surprisingly to me, Geesepeep, she kind of pries a little bit and asks Molly about her past. What does Molly reveal, Geesepeep?
That she was just naive back then, and she believed everything he said.
Oh my god, she was getting fooled so many times. Sohdayo had her climbing cliffs and getting chased through caves full of Zubat trying to find ingredients for salves. She was in the middle of big squares yelling at Lunatones in front of a crowd of people her wishes about being the best Pokemon doctor in the world.
Which was very adorable. I like their little relationship.
Yeah. We then get like a 2-second scene of Sohdayo. He just says, maybe I'll see you again sometime, Rising Volt Tacklers. And I went, surprised they animated that. We cut to the next day, and Dot is on the computer, Geesepeep. What has been updated?
The new edition of the magazine.
Ooh.
Online edition. Oh my god, he did it. He wrote all about the kids. Ooh, he put their little silhouette in there. Oh my god.
Did you guys catch the way that in the article he described Liko?
I was laughing so hard at all of them because he was like, Liko, the girl that can read minds and heal Pokemon.
It was so
the
funny.
super genius, smarter than AI. And Roy, the boy who is a Pokemon he's proud of, has a Pokemon.
It was, Roy's was so strange.
I was laughing so hard. The other two are superheroes, and Roy is just proud of his Pokemon's power. Yeah. I'm afraid this article is going to inflate their little egos. But, Dot, she's still being kind of, she's being bashful about it. She's like, oh, it would have been fine if he didn't write about it.
If Dot was going to have an ego, it would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah. And here's the thing, these people. Sohdayo writes that maybe this team of children is one day going to turn the world on its head. Ooh, to be continued. Geesepeep won an episode, but before we discuss it, it's time for Frito's Seminar of the Week. This week with Farigiraf. Take it away, Geesepeep.
Farigiraf, the long-neck Pokemon, which I love.
Terrifying Pokemon.
That apparently the tail and the main head merge into one when Farigiraf evolved. This evolution dramatically improved a certain power it has. Do you know which power that is?
Yes.
Is it A,
Did you say
superpower?
yes? I said yes.
A, superpower, B, ESP power, or C, O power?
O power.
Oh,
What is
power.
O power?
Oh, power.
I don't know.
His psychic powers, ESP. B, final answer.
Yes. By synchronizing the brain waves of its head and its tail, its ESP power improved. It said it could be up to 10 times stronger than before.
Wow.
And then we get a little animation of all the little guys getting berries from the trees, and then the little baby giraffe is like, I want some. And so it uses its telekinesis to get some berries to give to baby and Captain Pikachu.
Guys, what an episode. This is so good. Off of us being disappointed lately of the past couple episodes, this episode's incredible. I was laughing the whole time. I was so invested in the history of Molly. Her and Sohdayo. Sohdayo's so much fun. It's so much fun to see the kids having fun and them being all bashful reading about when they read about themselves in the magazine.
It was so sick. Such good characters. that I cared about every single person in this episode.
I mean, it was great. I mean, we got Geesepeep. Are you kidding me? We got blasting off again, a return to some goofy, just fun. We got horror with Farigiraf.
Oh, boy, did we.
Everything in here was so fun. I even watched this episode 2 times because, like I said a million times now, Taylor and I watched this forever ago, but I wanted to just give myself a little refresh before the recording. It's such a fun time.
Chansey, just out of nowhere, being hilarious.
Geesepeep, so many cute moments. Little Mousehold. Remember when Sohdayo was like, I have a theory, Mousehold, that you little mice are actually running things behind the scenes. And they went, you know, so funny.
All of the best episodes always have scenes of the Pokemon having fun together.
Exactly. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. This is, I can't give it a 10. That's crazy talk.
Yes.
But it's got to be a 9.8, right? What did I give what did I give Chansey? Because Chansey was outstanding. You got to watch. Geesepeep and I both gave it a 9.5.
Wow. Can't wait to watch it.
It's so good. Yeah, 9.8, I think, right? Compared to other Horizons episodes? What an episode.
Oh, no
God,
kidding.
You guys kidding me. What a great episode.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay. Any particular reason?
It was really good. I'm thinking back to the other Horizons episodes I've scored highly, and I guess those have been less fun than this one, like more serious. So I don't know, maybe, how about a 9.3?
Oh,
9.3, changing the score.
It was very watchable. It had, moments where we got to experience the lived-in world with the Pokemon and everyone. I love the Molly stuff. Yeah, it was really good.
Love backstory on characters. Love to see what Molly used to be fresh out of nursing school. Oh my God.
It really tells you so much about the characters. It makes you so much more interested in the entire crew. Just finding out about this relationship with this one character and learning about the person who does most of the reporting that's really interesting and pertinent to what they're actually finding. And that person is a potential resource. That's really interesting. Like, it seemed like a cool, this is how we get from A to B. Unlike Cleavor, where they were just like, oh yeah, follow the Diglett rocks.
I'm going to have to rename this episode Taylor Bashes on Cleavor.
I was going to, known Cleavor hater.
Yeah,
number one. Those episodes were so bad.
You have to change your username on everything to number one Cleavor hater.
Cleavor arc hater.
Taylor, enough bashing on Cleavor. I like the boy. He's sick in Legends Arceus. Can we get a score of the week? What do you score in this episode?
God, this is one of the better, from a character standpoint, this is one of the better episodes. I loved seeing Farigiraf being horrific, and just this crazy thing running at the screen was a really unexpected moment. The conflict being around resources instead of just like two Pokemon being angry at each other, like that, I thought was an interesting layer. This is like a 9.6.
Ooh, 9.6.
This is such a good episode. I just keep thinking of Chansey holding up its glowing hand in support of Molly, just threatening to slap Sohdayo. And oh man,
he was so angry on
that breakfast table conversation where they're talking about, it's such a real way of determining what their next steps would be. Like, that's how I see them going from one area to another, is sitting around a breakfast table saying, okay, so what do we think we should do? What resources do we have? Who's this person? It's just so good. Great episode. Great job, A-Team.
Love the breakfast nook. Geesepeep, before we move on to our big Game of the Year finale, that's what we're going to do at the end of this week.
Our new segment.
Yeah, new segment. Once a year, new segment. Do you have any other thoughts on this episode before we move it along?
Guys, they dated, right?
They must have. I mean, she has a crush on him. No matter what happened, she's got a little crush. She was trying to impress him with her little dress, going all these places. Guys,
senpai, yeah.
They'll probably get together by the end of the series.
I hope they do.
All right, guys, we love this episode. Please watch this. It's so good. I mean, it'll show up in English maybe, but it won't be nearly as good because it's so wildly Japanese, I think. Guys, we're moving on. Here's the thing. It's the end of the year. This is the last episode you're getting with all three of us this year. And for that reason, we must do our game of the year right now. We're just going to tell you. Okay, guys. At first, I said, let's do top 10 game of the year, like every game of the year known to man. And then they both said, oh, we can't do that many. So I said, okay, fine, top 3. So here's our top 3 game of the year with multiple more than 3s. Guys, my top 3 game of the years are number 4, Crow Country. Number 3, Astrobot. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And in number 1, Balatro. Guys, everybody play Balatro. It's the greatest game known to man. And I'm so upset on behalf of my poor boy. A, he didn't win Game of the Year, which he deserved at the Game Awards. And B, Europe is treating him like a criminal. The European rating board is giving this little fun card game the highest rating possible. Like M for mature, and they're saying gambling themes, even though there's no gambling in the game. You don't even place wagers. It's just that the game uses poker hands as a base and then jumps off into a very innovative roguelite deck builder engine-based game. It has nothing to do with gambling in the slightest. As a matter of fact, the boy hates gambling and wrote into his will, you can never use my property for any gambling or casinos or anything.
It's a gateway game.
And even then, Europe is saying, no, it's, and then he made such a good post on Twitter, guys. He's like, wow, maybe I should just add microtransactions and gambling like EA Sports Football Club, which is 3 and up in Europe, where there's blind box gambling loot boxes.
Do you think I would like the game?
Yes. Every human being on the planet, even like super old people, and everybody loves this game. It's so addicting.
Next time I see you, can you teach me how to play it?
Yeah, it's very simple. Wonderful game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, very big game. Bloated, yes. Did I have a wonderful time? Yes. I still recommend it, but that's a lot of homework, guys, because you'd have to beat all of Final Fantasy VII and Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII Remake to even begin playing Rebirth. So it's a big ask. Astrobot, wonderful. Taylor loves it. Geesepeep would have loved to play Astrobot.
Great game.
If you have attachment to PlayStation's history, it's 1,000 times better too, in addition to being a wonderful platformer. Fun.
Do you think that it deserves Game of the Year at the Keeleys?
No, I would have given it to Balatro, but I love the dude that walked up and gave his speech, and I thought it was so classy. He said, guys, we need to thank Nintendo because we wouldn't have Astrobot if it wasn't for Super Mario Brothers. I'll tell you that right now.
I agree.
And then
it also addressed any potential hatred, because the bad thing is getting Game of the Year puts such a target on your back.
Yeah, because everybody's still complaining about It Takes Two, even though Bolt and I know is a great game. And then my final top 3 game of the year at number 4, Crow Country. What a fun game that was. Do you like Resident Evil and Silent Hill from PS1? Because I do, and Crow Country is one of those. Lots of fun. Geesepeep, take it away. What is your top 3 games of the year, starting at number 5?
Number 5, Infinite Wealth.
Whoa.
That Yakuza 8 or Like a Dragon, the sequel to Like a Dragon?
Number 4, what is the acronym? The
Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket.
You can't say my number 4 game of the year is what's it called, guys?
It's so simple. I don't know why it's such a tough word.
Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. 3, Web Fishing. 2, Lethal Company. And 1, Manor Lords.
I have something to say. Be careful with web phishing. Apparently there was like a big problem that people stealing data or like trying to sneak into. Anyway, go ahead, Geese.
It is called phishing, so.
PHISH. All right.
Manor Lords is very fun. I'm excited to play the new updates once somebody buys the game for me, because I played on Game Pass and I no longer have that. So if all of our listeners Venmoed me like 50 cents, I could buy it. Just saying.
Just go to onlygeese.cash and you can Venmo her as we speak.
2, Lethal Company. Did you guys play this at all?
No,
I've
but
heard
could you tell me what Manor Lords is or what Lethal Company is?
Oh, Manor Lords is a like strategy town building game that's based in like, I don't know, medieval,
you sound like you love this game.
Yeah, guys,
It's like Banished crossed with SimCity, I guess.
Oh, SimCity, yeah, I know that
Taylor and
one.
I are nodding our heads. Yeah.
For me. Just Google it.
Okay,
it's your number two. It's your number one game of the year.
You know what my number one game of the year is? Being able to talk for more than 20 seconds.
Your breakdown for your number one game of the year was just Google it.
Well, maybe I could explain it before getting interrupted by you two.
Well,
you build a town in like medieval times. You have to do research.
Taylor and I thought the same thing. I thought you were just going to say.
I would call you that. You are. There's resource management, which I love. There's town building, which I love. It's a good game. I'm going to do you. I will not take any further questions.
So Lethal Company, that's like Phasmophobia, right? Where everybody's working together on comms.
Yes, and it's really fun. You have to go out to different planets and find items, and there's different monsters, and you have like different roles you can take as a team. What is it called? Location-based audio?
Yeah, proximity voice chat is wonderful. There was a mod you can install on Discord. I don't know if you installed it, but there's like a website you use there. So there's a mod you'd use to play Among Us via Discord proximity chat. It's so funny hearing somebody scream, and the second the character dies, it cuts out the voice chat on them. So fun.
I thought you weren't going to say the mod was for Among Us. I thought it was just for Discord, and you were going to say you can hear what people would sound like speaking to you from another state.
Okay.
So it's just like muffled shouting.
All right, Geesepeep, what about web fishing?
Web fishing, really fun and relaxing game. You just it's like an Animal Crossing light. You basically just do the fishing in Animal Crossing, and you can go in private or public, servers and chat. It's just fun. Just a casual, nice game. Something like a good game to do while you're doing something else, like watching hockey, for example.
But yes, my warning still stands. Be careful getting into public servers and being PHISHED.
4, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Guys, it's addicting. I like how my brain feels when I open a pack of cards.
Ooh, pretty pictures.
I also like that they have a lot of events. You can battle people, or you can do like battles against the AI.
Which do you do?
I do both.
Very sick.
Yeah, it's just like a fun game.
So fun to share our cards when we get a sick one. Very fun.
Yeah. And then 5, Infinite Wealth. Look.
Listen.
Taylor.
Thank you. It's not as good as Like a Dragon.
Wow, glowing review.
However, I do love my number one himbo, Ichiban. Did I finish the game? No.
Geese, how can you put this on your top games list when you didn't finish it?
Only played like 5 games this year.
Geese,
it's allowed, Taylor.
All right.
Overruled.
Okay.
I mean, maybe one day I'll finish it. Probably not, considering the circumstances in which I played the game. But yeah, I don't know. It was good. I don't know.
I
don't know if I'll ever finish Yakuza 7. Taylor, take it away on your top 3 games of the year, starting at number 4.
Number 4 in my top 3 games, the Unicorn Overlord demo. Did I buy the full game? No, because PlayStation Network was down and I couldn't purchase it, and I forgot how to do that. Or I forgot to do that later. So
number 3.
Technically didn't finish it. Number 3, Hi-Fi Rush. The only one on my top 4 games of the year that I did finish. It is a great game. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I only got about a quarter of the way through. And number 1, surprising no one based on my last several podcasts, Metaphor ReFantasio. Unexpected hit of the year.
Do you like Persona? Because you will like Metaphor.
I think it's better than Persona. It's not quite as slick as Persona 5, but honestly, what is? I've never seen anything as cool as Persona 5. But this is just better.
I have 2 questions about Metaphor. I have not played it. I will not play it. I respect, much like BioWare at its peak. Let me just say, much like Mass Effect 1 through 3, I respect these guys who make the Persona games. Not for me. I tried 4, not into it.
That's how I am with Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, well, Red Dead Redemption's so good. Okay, I have 2 questions for you, Taylor. The first of which is, are you annoyed that they made a fake calendar but also used real, what is it, fake days of the week but real months? Or is it vice versa?
I think it's the other. It's a weird system. They actually do. It's explained. It's a little silly, but I do understand it. I just got probably to the midway point of the game, and something very unexpected happens. It's a super sick game. The big point of me going like, really explained a lot of the stuff that I thought was dumb.
Ooh,
in
that's
the game.
good.
I was like, oh, that's silly. And I would kind of roll my eyes when I saw it, but it was like the gameplay is good enough. The overworld is good. The menus are good. The gameplay loop is incredibly well paced for a Persona game. It's just incredible. The demo really hooked me. It wasn't even on my radar a little bit, but this is from the creative team that did 5, and they finally released them from the room that they're only allowed to make Persona 5 adjacent properties. So this is their first outing.
That's so sick.
FF7 Rebirth is, I just put down that game because it did feel very bloated and side questy, but when I revisit it, I think I'll be able to get back into it. It's an incredibly well-made game. If you had shown me that when I was a kid, I would have lost my mind.
In its defense, and this is coming from somebody who did I 100%ed it. Well, I didn't do the hard mode because guess what, guys? It's too hard. It's not fun. It's so difficult. I'm max level, max everything. It's too hard for me. It's not worth my time. So I don't have the platinum trophy, but I did 100% it. I did side quest everything. In its defense, it's your choice whether or not you want to do the side quests. You could just mainline it and stop doing side quests if you're
you're right.
Side quests, so.
Yeah, that's very accurate. I have a hard time doing that because I have that completionist mentality still.
Yeah, it sucks not having everything checked off. Hate it.
Yeah, because then you worry about missables, even though there probably aren't missables.
Yeah, you can always replay chapters after you beat it. Hi-Fi Rush came out this year? Kidding me?
The PS5 version did, so it came out for me this year.
Yeah, it'll count. I'll count.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. It's also the only game I actually beat this year.
Maybe I should have put Vampire Survivors on. You kidding me? Number 6.
You could have actually. Yep. But we had both played it before.
Yeah, we were.
Hi-Fi Rush is it was very, very funny playing that game, realizing that they shut down the studio right after the game came out.
We're shutting down the studio.
Because it's so good. It's so charming. The art style is so good. Art direction in all of these games is so good. Oh my God, games this year. This was such a darn good year for games. Very good year for JRPGs. But Hi-Fi Rush just traditional. Hi-Fi Rush for the little babies. It was given to me as a birthday present, and it was completely unexpected for me. I thought, people have said that this is good, but I haven't really been into games too much lately. And I managed to start it before my gigantic trip this summer and end it afterwards, something I have never been able to do.
So sick.
The music is incredible. The gameplay is fun. The humor is good. I didn't think that you could make a game this charming and this genuine in 2024.
This is the one with the rhythm-based combat, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if I've said it here, but anybody who says Sekiro is a rhythm game needs to play this, because this is actually a rhythm game, unlike Sekiro.
There you go. Do you have anything to say about Unicorn Overlord, parentheses, the demo?
It's
strategy?
Yes. But it's very good. Like, they give you different options to kind of circumvent that mechanic, because it can get a little bit laborious and a little monotonous in tactics games. Building units is very fun. I always, these days, I worry about stories getting too contrived or too convoluted or too boring. So I'm not really sure what would happen there. And I have a bad history with everything other than 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim from, what's it? Who's the studio that did this? It's not level 5.
Is that Vanilla?
Vanillaware, yeah. They do a really good job. The art is fantastic. The gameplay is always super sick, and the stories are always good. But after a while, you're just like, okay, I think I'm done here. So I'll play it when it goes on sale next time.
Yeah, play when it goes on sale. And guys, that concludes our Game of the Year. But the true winner is, of course, as Taylor and I will reveal to you now, Pokemon Go, because we have been raiding and battling and catching with so many people, as I've mentioned before. But I've been going out on these giant raids with, shouts out, the Royal Raiders in Little Tokyo. And there's just hundreds of us all taking down raids. And I'm getting shinies and people getting shundos. And we're screaming and giving out gifts. This is the way Pokemon Go was meant to be played, and 100%. I'm so sorry if you do not live in a big city and can't experience this, because this is prime gaming. Everybody getting together, working together, getting in parties, giving gifts, popping lucky eggs and Stardust for everybody. Oh my God, what an experience.
One of the things that...
Game of the Year, Platinum winner.
I agree, and it's interesting because everybody keeps complaining about the state of the game, but when I was in... There were several of us in a rainstorm playing raids a couple weeks ago, and it was so much fun. The week before, when there was the wild area with the mighty Pokemon, and this giant horde of people was moving through this massive park, screaming out different mighty Pokemon and yelling their IVs. It was so sick.
I felt so bad because somebody was like, "What's the hundo on Necrozma?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know the CP. Like, I haven't memorized what the CP."
Oh, I'm always on it with those. Anytime somebody's like, "Hey, what's the hundo?" I'm like 2611 or whatever it is.
Very good stuff. Very good. And guys, that concludes our episode. Geesepeep, we're running long. Let's go to the wrap up and say goodbye to everybody for 2024. Geesepeep, take it away. Big finale.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us on social media at Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Hate to break it to you, none of that is social media.
Everybody loves Spotify.
She's just saying social media because that's what she used to say when it was Twitter and Instagram. Anyway, continue, Geese.
You can engage on those platforms. You can write comments and form community and interact in a virtual setting.
Sure, Geese. Yeah, as long as you're like making different albums.
Agree to disagree. Anyway.
No, I disagree. I agree with you.
Taylor! Anyway, please like and comment so more people can find us. Thank you. Also, thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can find him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shout out to Professor Ticklebits for the website and the
boilerplate.
You can follow him at twitch.tv/prof_Ticklebits, where he streams Indiana Jones and the Big Circle with Geesepeep.
Whoa, I hear it's bigger than ever.
Thank you to all our supporters. I hope you can support us. Go to looklistencast.com. See if it works. Please, just click on the link on the podcast, on the Apple Podcast. See if it lets you. Also, please recommend this podcast to your friends, nieces, nephews, uncles, Uncle Bozos, and the rest, because there's no swear words. Also, guys, go to sendanemail.com. Go to LookListen. Go to your Gmail account and hit compose email. And in the send to bar, type in looklistencast@gmail.com and then write a question and we'll answer it live on the air. Guys, it's time to go. Look at that recording time. That's longer than normal. That's too much editing.
Game of the year.
Game of the year. Everybody say goodbye. Geesepeep, say goodbye 5 times. I'm saying goodbye only once because we don't have time for 2 goodbyes. Taylor,
goodbye.
Taylor can say it once or twice then.
Okay, I can say goodbye.
Geesepeep, say goodbye. That's not nearly enough
Goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geesepeep. Thank you for listening to the Geesepeep Productions podcast.
Geesepeep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geesepeep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company